So very good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of Materia Medica. And yesterday we have started discussing about the Veratrum Album, the last remedy from third year syllabus, and certain aspects of the remedy which we have discussed in yesterday's lecture, along with a very interesting case that we have discussed. The psychological aspect of Veratrum Album already we have discussed. Many things related with the Veratrum already we have finished in yesterday's lecture. But Veratrum is a very big remedy where you can get many facets. Today, I will going to share you my experience, which was very early in my practice when I have not called to be a registered medical practitioner. It was during internship period. I came to Sangamner from right from Pune to my native place, and I was there with my father, and all of a sudden there are 7, 8 cases of gastroenteritis, food poisoning were brought to him in our hospital. And we were in hurry and admitting all those patients because all of them were dehydrated. They have very severe gastritis as well as diarrhea. Both things were there, and all of a sudden there was a sudden poisoning because of some food. It has happened. They were from one school. Um, there were everything was going on, and he was running here and there, my father, and doing all things. One of the patient, I observed certain things that that lady, she was crying with the pain. There was severe colicky pain, and she has, after coming in our hospital, within span of half an hour, she went for toilet at least 6, 7 times, and it was with colicky pain, and at the same time she had a vomiting. And when she came out, there was a sweating, tremendous sweating. Yeah. So last time when she went for toilet, she fainted. So we carried her directly to the bed and kept her over there. And when I observed that her mm, whole body was absolutely cold to touch, and she was asking for cold water again and again, and which was not remaining inside her body. Every time she had either a diarrhea or either a vomiting, but she was craving for cold water. Uh, this was clear-cut picture which was there in my mind regarding the Veratrum album at that time when I was in internship period. There was no question of a mobile phone or even computers or etc. Nothing, no book was there with me at that time because I was doing internship in Pune. Just for some purpose, I came to Sangamner and this was there. So I just asked my father, shall I give her a remedy which I feel from, which is from homeopathy? You try your level best, but I want to give her one remedy. And he said, why not give it? I used to carry certain common medicines. One of them was Veratrum with me in 30 potency. I never had a 200 or 1 m at that time. So I tried that. Oh, let us give her Veratrum, what happens. So rest of all the patients, they have received the ampicillin, which was very famous at that time, ampicillin, and then because of fever, he has given also, I think, chloramphenicol. I cannot recollect, or and something Genta. It was in 1989 90, around 89 90. This one. So. mm Everything was going on for all patients. In this patient, I have specifically given Veratrum album. I have given one dose, then after half an hour, I have repeated it one more time. And I saw what is the difference between the rest of the patients and her in the recovery. That was thought in my mind, actually. And to my surprise, after getting 3 doses of Veratrum album, she never had a single diarrhea attack or a single vomiting thereafter. After taking 3 doses, she slept well, and in the morning she was absolutely normal. and rest of the patients were having all the troubles. Only thing was that because of rehydration, they were better, but the frequency of stool was not stopped. Mm, it has reduced, but it was there. Vomiting was going on. But this patient, where Veratrum was received, she was fantastically recovered within first three doses. So this is a big thing which pushed me to practice homeopathy. These are the certain incidences in early my life which made me to think about homeopathic practice, even though I had a 20-bedded hospital, allopathic hospital. So this was a good incident which I wanted to share with you, and it was during very early life. We have discussed certain aspects from Alan's keynotes regarding Veratrum Album. I think we were on page number 301, and we have finished last sentence. I see coldness of face, tip of the nose, feet, legs, hands, arms, and many other parts. Let us go ahead with the rest of the thing. Cold feeling in abdomen, like colchicum, like tabacum, there is cold feeling inside, which is another sensation which is characteristic of this remedy. Violent vomiting with profuse diarrhea. Both things, it is given in bold, and this is very characteristic of this remedy. Associated with cold sweating and coldness of the body with shock state, circulatory failure. Vomiting, excessive with nausea and great prostration. So excessive nausea with great prostration, patient faints, and it gets aggravated by drinking like arsenic, aggravated by least motion like tabacum, and it is followed by great weakness. That was very typical gastroenteritis of paratrauma. There is cutting pain in abdomen as if knives, cholera. So this was very wonderful remedy for cholera, arsenic, camphor, veratrum. Cholera is vomiting and purging. Stools profuse, watery, gushing, prostrating. Cholera after fright, very characteristic. That is close to the aconite. After fright, there is severe diarrhea, like cholera stools. Diarrhea is frequent, greenish, watery, gushing, mixed with flakes. Cutting colic, with cramps commencing in hands and feet and spreading all over. So the whole state of a diarrhea, which he has explained in that specific paragraph, prostrating. Diarrhea is prostrating. Diarrhea after fright. Diarrhea of aggravated at least movements. Diarrhea with vomiting. Diarrhea with cold sweat on forehead during and prostration thereafter, like arsenic and tobacco. Prostration is like arsenic, tobacco, but the cold sweating is characteristic and which is specifically on the forehead or is of the this specific veratrum. So if we understand that paragraph, then we will understand this was the state which you used to find it out in earlier time. Now very occasionally we get such types of cases. It might be because people are aware about the rehydration, people are aware about the food habits, people are aware about the uh, preventive aspects, and that's why the things have been lot of change. But I used to find it out those cases earlier in my practice very much. Constipation, no desire. Stools are large, hard, like bryonia and sulfur. Constipation in round black balls, chelidonium, opium, plumbum. Constipation from inactive rectum. Constipation with frequent desire felt in epigastrium, like ignatia. Constipation felt in rectum is naxomica, with desire felt in rectum. Constipation painful of infants and children. After the lycopodium and naxomica, if they fails, you must think about the veratrum. Dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea with vomiting and purging, or exhausting diarrhea with cold sweat, ammonium carb and bovista. These are three remedies where cholera-like symptoms at the commencement of menstruation. This is the sentence given in ammonium carb. And these are three important remedies one should not forget in that specific thing. Dysmenorrhea is so weak can scarcely stand for 2 days at each menstrual crisis. So weakness, so much prostrated, so much exhausted on day one and two. It looks like a alumina, carboanimelis, cocculus, but here cold sweating is characteristic. Patient is going into state of shock, prostration, that is more marked with Veratrum Album. Bad effects of opium eating, tobacco chewing. So anything which happens after opium, now it is very less, but it used to happen in my childhood. I have seen that the ladies who used to go for work, they used to give opium. They touches the opium to the mouth of their children in order to get asleep during whole day. And because of that, the many children used to suffer from such types of effects. Pains in the limbs during wet weather, getting worse from the warmth of bed, better by continued walking, very closely looks like to be a rustox. In congestive or pernicious intermittent fever with extreme coldness. So fever is associated with extreme coldness, thirst, face is cold and collapsed, with skin is cold and clammy, great prostration, cold sweat on forehead, and deathly pallor on face. This deathly pallor makes the patient a Hippocratic face. That is very characteristic, which happens to be there. It looks very besotted. Relationship. This is the remedy after the arsenic, arnica, cinchona, cuprum, ipecac. This remedy is a wonderful remedy. After camphora in cholera and cholera morbus. After ammonium carb, carbovage, and bovista in dysmenorrhea with vomiting and purging. General modalities. The aggravation from least motion, very important modality, specifically diarrhea, which happens after least motion, exhaustion, prostration after least motion, aggravation after drinking, aggravation before and during menses, aggravation during stool, aggravation when perspiring, and aggravation after fright. So see, there are many modalities in Veratrum Album, and all those modalities are characteristic modalities. Often removes the bad effects of excessive use of alcohol and tobacco. This is one important indication one must try in practice. Complementary remedy is arnica. This remedy antidotes aconite, camphor, china, and coffea. Action is for 20 to 30 days. A deep acting remedy comparatively. But pace is very acute. It is not slow. It is always having a strong pace. So this is a wonderful remedy one must learn and one must utilize in practice with all those characteristic features. My suggestion to all of you, go through Borik's remedy also. Read the Veratrum album from his point of view, and then you will develop a good picture in your mind regarding this remedy. So that's all for today. Tomorrow, if time permits, yes, definitely we'll meet and we'll start with the group remedies. And in tomorrow's session, first group, that acid group, I will going to discuss few things. It will not be a big lecture. It will be a glimpses that what is common with the acid group and how to recollect the acid group. Uh, I will let you know whether we'll have a lecture tomorrow or not, because there is one appointment. But if till the time per se, I will definitely be there with this group remedy. So there are 4, 5, or 6 groups are there in the syllabus of third year. The first group was acid group. So we'll start with the acid group tomorrow or either on Monday. So tomorrow, most probably I will try my level best to meet again. So thank you being there and good night.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Good night.